Now, a party of the elite formed even before Indian independence, conceived by a bunch of freedom fighters, aristocrats, but even the father of the nation comes from the Indian National Congress. Now, it has been 129 years since the party was formed. 2014, however, turned out to be a disaster for the party that once held India. Now, let's tell you the interesting story of the Congress. Why did a British form the Congress Party? What was his contribution to the Congress in shaping our nation? And what is the reason behind its miserable fate today? Now, here is a special report.
As Vice President of the party, I hold myself responsible.
Manmohan Singh, do swear that I will bear true faith.
One 29 years ago, the first seeds of Congress were sown in the land that was once called as the Sone Ki Chidiya. The Congress Party is one of the world's largest and oldest political parties of its kind today. Before we tell you about the history of Congress, let us tell you the reason why the party was formulated, and yes, it is an interesting story in itself. Formed by the elite under strict supervision of the British, the Congress Party was created to form a platform for civic and political dialogue of educated Indians with the British Raj. December 28, 1885. The Congress Party, which became the leader of the Indian freedom struggle, was established by Allan Octavian Hume, the man known as the father of Indian National Congress. It was not a one-man show, but around 7 people backed Hume to bring this into reality. Back then, the Indian National Congress was at the forefront of the Indian freedom struggle. The party had 15 million members and over 70 million participants in its struggle against British rule in India. After India's independence, the Congress emerged as a major political party in India. Mahatma Gandhi and Sardar Patel wanted to dissolve the Congress Party after the goal was achieved, the goal of independent India. But that didn't happen. The organization remained as a party. With the rise of Mahatma Gandhi's popularity and his Satyagraha art of revolution, came Jawaharlal Nehru and other biggies. It was around the same time that India saw partition, and after first elections, Congress became the #1 party and enjoyed unlimited powers in the country. The nationalistic feeling combined with Gandhi's popularity was so much that the Congress became a forceful mass organization in the country. The party was instrumental in bringing millions of people together. After Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi was assassinated in 1948 and after the death of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel in 1950, Jawaharlal Nehru became the one and only controller of the Congress Party of India. He led the party from the front and became instrumental in making the Congress Party nation's dominant political party. The party has also been instrumental in the making or fall of non-Congress governments at the centre when it was out of power.
Well, that was the story of the birth of the Congress. Now let us tell you the kahani of the party post-independence. It is a story which is remembered as an integral part of the history of India. Now, after independence, an emotional event took place. The Congress was the first ever party to come to power in democratic India.
Indian Independence Day, the most important day for India. The end of suppression from the British Raj. It was time for the monarchs to make their exit and time for a new democratic beginning for the people of India. father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi led us to independence, but after 1947, he announced he was not willing to take up any political post. The president of the Congress party, Jawaharlal Nehru and Jinnah, and their contribution towards independence was seen as pivotal. Both Nehru and Jinnah emerged as possible leaders for the top job in independent India. But well, as we know, right after independence, in the partition, India witnessed the biggest mass migration of the world. India was split into two, Bharat and Pakistan. Amidst all the chaos, India went on polls for the very first time. It was no surprise when Congress emerged victorious and Jawaharlal Nehru swore in as the first Prime Minister of independent India. Under the leadership of Jawaharlal Nehru, the party retained the character of an electric political organization. With a wide range of positions, the Congress party flourished until today. Chacha Nehru is considered the architect of the modern Indian nation state. His tenure saw a total of 16 years. But with Jawahar, the story of the Congress party had only begun. It was during the Nehru rule when it became clear that the Congress party would soon become a family-run business. Nehru's daughter Indira Gandhi would have had it easy in the Congress party, but Nehru never wanted to openly support her. Nehru had reached a point when he wanted someone to replace him and take the responsibility of leading the country. He was looking for a political heir for his throne. But even then, he'd never made a direct proposal of including Indira in the Congress Working Committee. Without a direct order from Nehru, it was not possible to include young Indira in the party. So everyone assumed that Nehru indirectly brought her to the Congress. Probably he was not willing to tarnish his image and be blamed by the opposition for favoring his own daughter to join politics. Indira was already neck-deep in politics informally. Top-notch Congress politicians often came to her for advice. With the formal induction into the party, within years, she became a respectable Congress leader. But did she earn a name with hard work? Or was it Daddy Nehru's backing that gave her the edge? After Indira joined politics, Nehru made a prominent change in the Congress policy. Why did he make this sudden move? Well, this story too is intertwined with the future of Indira's rise in Congress. Nehru, beyond doubt, was the kingmaker of Congress, and Indira was climbing the political ladder one step at a time. Nehru wanted his daughter to actively help him, take deep interest in the affairs of the Congress party, but back then Indira was unable to devote her time to the party. Indira was tied between family life and her responsibilities towards the party. She once even wrote a letter to Jawaharlal Nehru requesting him to relieve her from her political duties as she wanted to spend time with her family and help her ailing husband, Feroz Gandhi. The Iron Lady of India didn't get the much needed time. She was craving to spend time with her husband. In 1958, Feroz succumbed to a heart attack. 42-year-old Indira was left with 2 children to take care of and no husband to take life forward. After her husband's demise, Indira decided it was time to devote her entire time in the affairs of the Congress party. She grew in the office into a leader with iron in her soul, a charismatic supreme leader who merged the best and the worst of political instincts. (1961). It was around this year that Morarji Desai assumed office, as people thought he was the rightful successor to Nehru. With Nehru's age and failing health, Morarji Desai was considered a possible contender for the position of Prime Minister. Under Nehru's shadow, Indira had a phenomenal rise in the Congress. She took all major steps in politics with Nehru to guide her. Under his wing, Indira was unstoppable, but she faced a major challenge in 1964. 27th May 1964. It was a black day in Indira Gandhi's life. Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru suffered a massive heart attack that claimed his life. Indira was completely broken. For the first time after the Indian independence, Congress was at crossroads. Who will take the charge of leading India and the Congress party? Indira seemed to be the obvious choice. She was asked to take charge, but her father's death shattered her. No amount of convincing and consoling helped. That was when Lal Bahadur Shastri stepped in and took up Nehru's responsibilities.